A good evening to you. On the business desk at this hour, a slight decline has been reported in the latest BankservAfrica Economic Transaction Index for February. That's at 132.2 points. It represents a 0.8% drop from the 1.2% improvement that was recorded in the quarter ending in November last year. The index has also highlighted the ongoing presence of multiple immediate risks. Independent economist Elize Kruger will unpack this with us. Thank you so much for your time, Elize. Let's first talk about what exactly of a picture is this data painting.
Good evening. Yes, unfortunately we saw the Betty declining in February, and actually compared to a year ago it is at exactly the same index level. So to me that really is reflective of the current narrative that's ongoing in the South African economy. Now it's a fairly sideways movement. Overall, so we're not seeing growth. We're not seeing that this economy is, getting out of this current low levels of growth. And the BankservAfrica Economic Transactions Index exactly confirms that to us, that we see the index level dropped and it stays sort of same compared to last year. It's a muddle along scenario.
And that confirmation you speak of, Elize, was also reflected in the GDP numbers that we got yesterday, showing that marginal 0.1% expansion. What has been your reaction there?
Yes, indeed. I think that is, as you say, another confirmation. Many of the economic indicators tell the same story at this point in time. So we get, for instance, a small positive growth number, but to be followed by, say, a negative in the next month. So we are not getting momentum in the economy. And I think that is what we are struggling with at the moment. And to get momentum, we need a change in the current narrative. And in terms of change, could it be coming from the real economic indicators, be it inflation, interest rates, or it could also come from structural change in the economy. And that's the more broader, medium-term developments that should assist us to get out of this current muddle-along scenario.
And much must be said about how we see these indexes and reports show movement. The stagnation in the South African economy that you alluded to at the beginning stages of this conversation also then speak to the near-term outlook for 2024. It was projected that it would be a slightly better year. 2023 and 2022 were quite horrid on the side of an economic climate. What do we say now, especially in the first half of this new year?
Yes, in the first half, unfortunately, I do think we're going to see more of the same, Tumisang. So it's a matter of almost all the challenges that we had end of 2023 are still with us in the early months of 2024. And if we look forward, it's almost going to be a year of two halves. So in the second half, hopefully we will see our inflation rate dropping below 5%. That could open the door for the Reserve Bank to cut interest rates somewhat towards the end of the year, which could give some alleviation, especially on the consumer spending side in the second half of the year. On top of that, hopefully we can see some of our energy projects that are in the pipeline coming on stream, starting to add to our capacity and helping us on the load shedding side. Already indications that load shedding is somewhat less severe compared to last year, and that is the assumption why we expect growth to be somewhat better in the order of about 1.3%. Real growth compared to last year's very dismal 0.6%.
As a parting shot, Elize, what then needs to be tweaked in the South African economy to ensure that the climate is being built towards a landscape that is conducive? I ask this question because we are in an election year.
Yes, indeed. And I think we are making progress in some respects, although the progress is, I want to say, almost below the surface. We're not seeing the impact thereof yet. But if you think about electricity generation, we have seen the market opening up for the private sector and quite a significant reaction to that. Projects in the pipeline that could add to our capacity in the next 12 to 18 months. Similarly, we have now started to see also on our transport and logistics sector policies being put in place, our road freight road mapping now being recommended and approved by Cabinet. So we need serious implementation of good plans that are on the table to bring the private sector in to be part of the solution for the South African economy.
Thank you as always for your input. Elize Kruger is an independent economist talking to us about the latest BankservAfrica Economic Transaction Index that's seen a decline.